Good morning, students, and welcome back to 4-day per week face-to-face learning, or for sixth grade students, welcome to 4-day per week learning at Valley View for the first time. We hope you are as excited as we are about getting you back in school more. We know that it will make learning easier and it will make connections easier. And for many of you, it might be the first time that you've seen some friends from the opposite side of the cohort in a while, or at least at school. And we know that that is exciting. With that, we also want to remind you of some really important aspects around safety and learning and ask for your help in following those so we know we can have a successful rest of the school year. So some of those important safety reminders. Number one, students and staff should still be following a daily screener and making sure that you stay home if you're sick or have any symptoms at all. Number two, mask wearing is still critically important, and you're expected to have a properly fitting mask that you're wearing at all times, except for at lunch when you're taking it off to eat. Social distancing is still important, although it has shifted some, and we'll talk about that on the next slide. But our goal is still for you to stay 6 feet away when at all possible from other people, but at a minimum 3 feet away at all times. Frequent hand cleaning is still something that's really important, whether that means you're bringing your own hand sanitizer, using our stations throughout the building, or just washing your hands with soap and water in our bathrooms. And then lastly, continuing to follow all the school and classroom norms that you've been following all year. Those are going to become even more critically important as we add students into the building at the same time. So really quickly, touching base on social distancing and what's the deal. The goal is for students to still stay 6 feet away as much as possible. But about a month ago, Governor Walz and the Minnesota Department of Health established guidance of a minimum of 3 feet distancing at all times in schools. And we've been working hard as a school to make sure that our classrooms and our cafeteria are set up to accommodate this, to make sure that you will be at least 3 feet distance from any classmates at any time. You're going to notice more and more seating charts in your classrooms and continued in the cafeteria to make sure that we have that 3-foot distancing, but also to make sure that we have the ability to contact trace should we have to. So it's really important that you stay with these seating charts. I know that it's not ideal and it doesn't make it as fun if you're not sitting close to one of your friends that you want to connect with, but this is a really critical safety measure that we have to take. And like I said, it's really important for contact tracing should we have to do that. So we appreciate your patience with it. So those safety reminders, like I said, daily screener, mask wearing, social distancing, at least 3 feet away at all times, hand cleaning, and then also following classroom and school norms. And I want to take a minute and talk about number 5. Some of these will be reminders for you, but we need your help as a staff to make sure that you understand them and follow them. I want to point out that our Valley View staff and teachers in particular have been working really hard all year and continue to make sure that EVA students and hybrid students are both learning and safe. You see the image of the person on the bottom right. Our teachers and staff feel like they're trying to do a million things at once, whether that means connecting students online to the classroom, making sure that you and your classmates that are at school are safe and are maintaining distance between each other, but also that everyone's learning. And this will only be easier if you as students are responsible and follow the classroom norms and expectations. If teachers have to deal with behaviors that are challenging, that makes it that much harder. So we really appreciate your ability to focus and follow those expectations. I want to remind you that we have some norms and beliefs that we share as a community, right? That learning is important, that safety is important, and that everyone feeling welcome is important. And we have norms or rules that help uphold those. For instance, we've talked before about how learning is important. So we ask students to keep cell phones away, to be on time, to work hard. We've talked about how safety is important this year, particularly. So we ask students to wear masks and maintain distancing. We talk about how everyone feeling welcome is important. So we want to continue to be kind to each other. We won't tolerate any bullying or harassment, whether that's face-to-face or virtual. Those norms still apply, and they're really important for you guys to follow, like I mentioned on the last slide, because it helps our staff and our teachers focus on what's really important, which is the learning and the connections, making connections with you and your classmates. So again, just a reminder, as we go through this year, obviously things look different than they have in the past, but these norms still apply, right? School-wide norms like no rough play, no bullying or harassment. We want cell phones to stay away. We ask students to keep hats and sunglasses and hoodies off so that we can engage in the learning, being on time, working hard, all these different aspects that we know make this a great school and help you guys be successful students. Hallways still have some different norms. So again, we want students to stay 6 feet away when possible with a minimum of 3-foot social distancing, with masks on at all times, keeping to the right in hallways. We're going to continue to not use lockers, and we're going to ask students to go directly to their class when you dismiss from one to the other, or when you get to school at 9 o'clock. That helps us lower clustering and make sure that we're keeping distancing from each other. In our cafeteria, it's going to continue to be set up with assigned seating and distancing. And a couple of important aspects of this, as we add more students into the space, volume is going to go up, and we want to make sure that you're managing your volume and just talking with the people that are sitting around you. It's really important that you stay seated. We will dismiss you when it is time to go, and then that is when you can throw your food away. But we ask that you go to your assigned seat and take your mask off to start eating. When you finish eating, it is the best idea to put your mask on since we're sitting closer together. And again, stay in your seat until you get dismissed. All these things will make our cafeteria a safe space. If you get breakfast, we want to continue to remind you that it is free throughout the year and you can get it at our cafeteria, but you do have to eat in the cafeteria. That helps our custodians have a small space to clean. And again, is part of us managing all the different things that we're doing this year. Technology reminders. We're still going to be using technology a lot, even though you might have less Google Meets to do. Continue to keep in mind that technology is for focusing on your learning, right? And that we expect you to know what is and is not okay with that. We have a program that monitors student activity on devices called GoGuardian. And another component to technology to remind you of here is just, again, to keep your cell phones away from bell to bell, right? From 9:20 to 4:05, we ask that they stay away so there's less distractions in the classroom. Bathroom expectations and locker rooms. You'll see we're still not using locker rooms, but when you need to use the restroom, we ask that you not do that during passing time. Again, just go directly to your class and your teachers will dismiss you. We still have an expectation of 2 students at a time in the restroom, and obviously encourage you to wash your hands, make sure that they're clean as you go. For sure, keeping cell phones away in a bathroom, obviously at all times, but in particular places where there's privacy required, that will get you in more trouble if you decide to have something out at that time. So if we can follow these safety reminders, like a daily screener, mask wearing, social distancing, hand cleaning, and then all those classroom norms and school norms that we just went over, we're going to have a great end of the school year, and ideally get back to these types of activities as soon as possible. But we can't do that unless you guys buy into this and help us make it work. So thank you so much for your attention to this. Welcome back. We're so excited to see all of you and look forward to connecting more and more throughout the year.